Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanadhari Yamuna Vanadhari Yoradha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanadhari Yamuna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Pancha Tattva Jaya Pancha Tattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Haribo Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So last week we were discussing about Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a session, because special session. The reason being is the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We discussed various pastimes. So now we are back to our regular discussions. So by the mercy of the Lord and the devotees, we are now in Madhya Leela, and today we are starting a new chapter, chapter 21. Basically, it is an extension of chapter 20, because the same subjects are discussed. It is Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing Sanatana Goswami, and so it is a continuation of those instructions. And in that, today's topic is that Mahaprabhu is discussing about the opulence and sweetness of Lord Shri Krishna to Sanatana Goswami. So we will see this chapter, a part of this chapter today. So let's recite the first verse and okay. So can you see, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. We can see.
Okay. I'm just trying to adjust something. Just give me a second. Okay. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we are reading today from Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 21. And this is, chapter 21, text 1. Agati ekagatim natva hinatadika sadakam Shri Chaitanya likami asya madhurya ishwarya shikaram Agati ekagatim natva hinatadika sadakam Shri Chaitanyam likami asya madhurya ishwarya shikaram Agati ekagatim natva hinatadika sadakam Shri Chaitanyam likami asya madhuraishwarya shikaram. Anyone would like to repeat? Prabhu's? Or Mataji's? It is always very auspicious to recite back the verses. Yes, please.
Agati ekagatim natva vinarthatika sadakam Shri Chaitanyam likhame asya madhurya swaraya sikaram.
Very well, Mataji. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I can try.
Yes, Prabhu.
Agati ekagatim natva hinarthatika sadhakam Shri Chaitanyam likhami asya madhurya ishwarya sikaram. Hare Krishna.
Shikara. Thank you, Prabhu. Haribol, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji. We can hear you.
Thank you. Yes.
Now I can hear.
Yes, please. Any one more? Just one last one? Anyone?
I can do, Mataji.
Yes, please, Mataji.
Agatya ekagatim natva hinartadika sadhakam Shri Chaitanyam likam yasya madurai shwarya sikaram.
Jai Haribol Mataji. Thank you. So, translation. Okay. Agati ekagatam, to the only shelter for the conditioned souls who do not know the goal of life. Natva, offering obeisances. Hina artha, of the necessities of the conditioned souls who are poor in spiritual knowledge. Adhika, increase. Sadhakam, bringing about. Shri Chaitanya, unto Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Likami, I am writing. Asya, of him. Madhurya Aishwarya, of the sweetness and opulence. Shikaram, a small portion. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Offering my obeisances unto Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let me describe a particle of his opulence and sweetness. He is most valuable for a fallen conditioned soul, bereft of spiritual knowledge, and he is the only shelter for those who do not know the real goal of life. Offering my obeisances unto Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let me describe a particle of his opulence and sweetness. He is most valuable for a fallen conditioned soul, bereft of spiritual knowledge. And he is the only shelter for those who do not know the real goal of life. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Karodi Vach Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamam Bande Shri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so it's a very beautiful verse, very beautiful chapter as well. In this chapter, basically, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually talking about Krishna Loka, the topmost planet, the abode, the supreme abode of Lord Shri Krishna. And he is also talking about the various Vaikuntha planets. And today we will be also seeing a very beautiful pastime where Lord Brahmaji got bewildered by, Krishna's potency. And that is a Brahma Vimohana Leela, which is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu is also quoting here, to make us understand that how even Lord Brahma got bewildered. What to speak about ordinary living entity, how they can actually understand Krishna. So very nice. So that pastime also we will discuss today. And actually this chapter, we will see that later in this chapter, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is actually writing about the intimate relationship, the sambandha which the jiva has got for Krishna. And also he's describing very beautifully the opulence, the qualities, and the extraordinary beauty of Sri Krishna. So all that we will be in this chapter, but today we will discuss a few. Let's see. So the spiritual sky. So when we see, it is mentioned that there are unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets in the spiritual sky. So in this picture also you can see there are many planets here. They are all Vaikuntha planets. So in the Vaikuntha planets, we see that the different Narayanas, and they are present in each of these planets, and it is very difficult to count how many Vaikuntha planets are there. Normally, when we talk casually, we say, yeah, people say that, yeah, you have to go to Vaikuntha, like that when they speak. We just maybe, we may think that there is only one Vaikuntha planet. But actually, there are many, unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets. And it's not that the numbers are unlimited, but even, talking about the breadth and length, the size of the planet is very difficult because it is beyond our ability to measure. And it is mentioned here, the breadth of each Vaikuntha planet is described as 8 miles multiplied by 100, by 1,000, by 10,000, by 100,000, and by 10 millions. That means when you start measuring, it looks like 8 miles multiplied by 100. Then again, you see it has increased by 1,000, then by 10,000. So it keeps expanding. So it's very difficult for anyone, with their senses to measure, the Vaikuntha planets, because they're all transcendental. So in each of this Vaikuntha planet, who is residing in this Vaikuntha planet? The inhabitants, the associates, the personal associates of the Lord are residing in the Vaikuntha planet. And how they are looking? They are looking, like their opulence are as good as the Lord himself. They also have this very special, in Vaikuntha planets, actually, the inhabitants also have a 4-hand form. And their opulences are, like the Lord himself, so that is the way the Vaikuntha planets are full of opulence. And we see all the transcendental forms of the Lord are present in each of these different planets. So that's what is mentioned here.
Okay,
and we may say, now we describe that there are many, many Vaikuntha planets. And, people who get attracted to one particular form of Narayana, they go to that particular planet. Say, for example, if someone is so attracted, it is mentioned that Bhishma Dev was very much attached to the Parthasarathi form of the Lord. The Parthasarathi form of the Lord is the Lord with a special, armor and everything, in the battlefield, Krishna in the battlefield. So that is the form he liked it, Bhishma Dev. And in fact, he left this world by looking at the beautiful form of Krishna in the battlefield. So like that, different personalities, they have attraction to the different forms of the Lord. Same Krishna, but he has unlimited forms. And that, and people may get to one particular form of the Lord. And when they get attached to that particular form of the Lord, they go to the abode of that particular place. That abode where that particular form is the predominating deity. Somebody may get attracted to the Vamana form of the Lord. Someone may get attracted to the Varaha form of the Lord. So like that. So they go to that particular abode where the predominating deity is that particular form. So here it is mentioned, even though there are unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets, in the spiritual sky, where are they present? It is mentioned that they are just located in a certain corner of the spiritual sky. That means we cannot even imagine what is the measurement of the spiritual sky. Because all this unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets, they are occupying only just a corner of the spiritual sky. So that means we can understand how vast is the spiritual sky. And what is the shape given in the scriptures? The shape of the spiritual sky is compared to a lotus flower. And just like in a lotus flower, the flower has got a lot of petals, and in the middle, the portion is called the hole. And in that hole is the Krishna's abode, the topmost planet. And all the petals are compared, to the many Vaikuntha planets. Okay. And that each Vaikuntha planet is full of spiritual bliss, opulence, everything is there in the planet. As I mentioned earlier, the inhabitants also possess that 4-hand form. And it is mentioned that nobody can describe the glories of Vaikuntha planet, because even, Lord Brahma and all the devatas cannot estimate the length and breadth of the spiritual sky. So how ordinary living entities can imagine them? So this is a Bhagavatam verse. The translation is quoted here. O Supreme Great One, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Super Soul, Master of all mystic power, Your pastimes are taking place continuously in these worlds. But who can estimate where, how, and when you are employing your spiritual energy and performing your pastimes? No one can understand the mystery of these activities. We can understand, the conditioned souls are full of defects, right? We have these 4 defects, categorized under, all our defects can be categorized under these 4 things. Our senses are imperfect, as we know, that we can't see beyond, even in this material objects, we can't say, if I am sitting in this room, I don't know what's happening in the next room. But I can't just conclude that because I don't see, there is nothing happening in the next room. So like that, eyes are just one of these, senses. Like that, each of our senses are very, very limited. How with this limited senses can we, understand or even try to know the Supreme Lord who is beyond all this, beyond our senses, and not only that, we get illusioned. And our greatest illusion is that we think we are this body. So that's the greatest illusion. So that is the nature of the conditioned soul, to get illusioned. And also the conditioned soul commits mistakes and the cheating propensity. So these 4 things are found in every conditioned soul. Maybe the degree varies, but these defects are there. So the Lord who is above all the defects cannot be perceived through a defective instrument. And we are trying to, perceive the Lord through our defective senses, which is definitely not possible. So that is what is mentioned. When Lord Brahmaji himself, he is the first living entity who has come from the navel of the Supreme Lord. That's why beautifully Kunti Devi offers a prayer. Nama Pangajanabhaya, Nama Pangajamaline, Nama Pangajanetraya, Namase Pangajangre. Pangajanaba. Your naba, your navel is like a lotus flower. So we saw that in the earlier session, from the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, from his navel arises a beautiful lotus flower. And in that lotus, the stem of the lotus flower, and who is coming out? Brahmaji is coming. And Brahmaji is the first person who received the Vedic wisdom from the Lord himself directly. Tene Brahma Hridaye Adikavaye. Krishna, through his flute, transcendental sound, he actually transferred all the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. That Lord Brahma is telling, I cannot understand. Then who are we to understand him? So only by his causeless mercy, one can actually understand. Only by devotional service, one can understand the Supreme Lord. So we see here, just like the Vaikuntha planets are unlimited, the spiritual qualities of Krishna are also unlimited. We try to understand Krishna, the qualities expand more and more and more. And it is mentioned that great personalities like Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the 4 Kumaras cannot estimate these spiritual qualities of the Lord. Very nicely it's mentioned. This is also a translation taken from one of the Bhagavatam verses. In time, great scientists may be able to count all the atoms of the universe, all the stars and planets in the sky, and all the particles of snow. But who among them can count the unlimited transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It descends on the surface of the globe for the benefit of all living entities. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So even someone may count all the atoms in the universe, which is quite not visible. But even that may be possible. Even one may count the stars and the planets in the sky. But one cannot count the unlimited transcendental qualities of Shri Krishna. So we can understand how expanding the Lord's opulences, the Lord's qualities, everything about the Lord, we cannot limit. There is no limit. We cannot bound him. We cannot put a boundary. It keeps expanding. That is one of the nature, of the Supreme Lord and everything that is connected with the Supreme Lord. So it is mentioned that even the 1,000 headed, Ananta Sesh cannot find the end of the Lord's transcendental qualities. So, and here a very beautiful verse, Brahmaji is telling, is speaking to Narada Muni, he's telling, if I, Lord Brahma, and your elder brothers, he meant here elder brothers refer to the 4 Kumaras. Narada Muni is also, came out of as a Manasika Putra of Lord Brahma. And the 4 Kumaras also came out of Brahma. So Brahmaji is telling to Narada, if I, Lord Brahma, your elder brothers, the great saints and sages, cannot understand the limits of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of various energies, who else can understand them? Although constantly chanting about his transcendental qualities, the 1,000-hooded Lord Sesha has not yet reached the end of the Lord's activities. Yes. So it's very, if these personalities could not understand, who can understand? And it is so interesting to see, not only Anantadev could not understand, Brahmaji could not understand, but it is mentioned that even the Lord himself cannot understand, because by the time he, my Lord, you are unlimited, even the predominating, he himself is always eager to know more about him. So Krishna's sweetness and sweet qualities, only his pure devotees can understand. Even Krishna cannot understand. That is the reason, Krishna himself, wanting to taste it, wanting to know it. That is why he took the mood of Srimati Radharani and came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because as Krishna, Krishna is actually could not relish what his devotees are relishing. So only when you take a position of a devotee, that he can understand. That's the reason he took the role of, the mood of Radharani. Once, Shripa Ramanujacharya, the Supreme Lord, he spoke to Ramanujacharya. He said to Ramanujacharya, see, I also spoke Gita, but many people did not took my words seriously. But when you are preaching about Gita, so many people are following you. How is it possible? Then the Lord said, when you become a student, then I will tell you the secret, how, they are all taking it up. So if at all certain things we need to understand, we need to take that position to understand. We can't just stand in this side and, try to understand everything. We, each role has its own sweetness and uniqueness. So Krishna could understand that as long as I am the supreme enjoyer and I am Krishna, I can't enjoy what my devotees would enjoy. What Radharani is enjoying or what Radharani is tasting, that sweet mellows, I can't understand. So only if I, take that mood, then I can actually appreciate it. Right? So that is a point. It is mentioned here that even Krishna is eager to know about his transcendental qualities. So it is mentioned that that is why it is mentioned, Krishna himself declares in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prabhatyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many, many births, the person who is in true knowledge, he will understand that I am the Supreme Lord of all that be. Such a soul is very rare. So even the Gyanis, they are trying to understand the Lord by their mental speculation, but it takes so many births for them to understand, oh, Krishna, you are the Supreme Lord. So it takes Bahunam Janmanamante, many, many births. So it is not so easy to, know the Lord just by one's intelligence or by mental speculation or by any other methods, unless the Lord reveals. And we can attract the attention of the Lord by a pure devotional service. It is very difficult to know Krishna. So, how Brahmaji himself was bewildered, this pastime is mentioned in the Krishna book. Srila Prabhupada very beautifully he has described. So if anyone gets time, please do go to the chapter and read for yourself. Brahma Vimohana Leela. How Brahmaji got Vimohana Leela is a The Lord Brahma himself got bewildered. So that pastime, a very beautiful pastime, as we know, that once, when Krishna, after killing the demon Agasura was a snake demon. As we know, Kamsa was sending so many demons, to kill Krishna. But every time his attempt was, got smashed. He was defeated in his attempts. And this time what happened, he sent Agasura, and Agasura was sitting like, wide open mouth, the snake demon, as if, it looks like a cave. And he was trying to bewilder and cheat, the cheating propensity, which we were talking about. That is very much, high in a demonic persons, and we see that, he was trying to cheat all the cowherd boys and Krishna, so that they can enter thinking it is a cave, and then the snake demon will close the mouth and everyone will die. That was a plan. Man proposes, God disposes. What happened here? Kamsa is proposing, Krishna disposed him. What did he do? So when all the cowherd boys entered the mouth of Agasura, they could understand it is something else we have gone inside. And of course, the cowherd boys, though they were fearful, just seeing entering inside something, they could understand, then immediately they called out for Krishna. So that is the mood of the pure devotees. They always take shelter of that personality who can award fearlessness. Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Bajahure Manashinandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So they take shelter of that personality whose lotus feet can bestow all fearlessness. The fear personified is afraid of Sri Krishna. Everyone is afraid of the fear personified. But the fear personified is afraid of Sri Krishna. So what happens here? So these cowherd boys, they call out Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then Krishna came and saved, this cowherd boys from Agasura, and killed and liberated Agasura. Even see the Lord's transcendental qualities we were talking about. If someone is doing harm to us, will we do something good for them? We will be always talking bad about them, or we will avoid that person. We don't want to even look at them, right? But see, Krishna, someone who is constantly making an effort, and this demon has come to literally kill Krishna. Someone has come with the mood of killing him. And what is that the Lord is giving back? He's liberating this person from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. That is the Lord's sweetness. Someone is coming to attack, someone is coming to do something horrible, but the Lord is giving back all auspiciousness, giving all love, all mercy. It is not tit for tat. Someone is hating, but the Lord is loving. He's always loving. Whether you love or not, I will always love you. That's what Nityananda Prabhu said when Jagai and Madai, and when Madai hit the Lord, he said, just because, it is like a child. When the child is kicking the mother will not say, oh, you are kicking me, and she will throw the child. No. Like that, the Lord, Nityananda Prabhu is comparing Madai's hitting to be a child's kick. Just see the compassionate nature of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. He says, just because, you are hitting me, you think I won't give you love of God? So that is the mood of the Supreme Lord. He's full of love, full of compassion, and he's always ever forgiving, ever forgiving. So we see here what happened. So then all the cowherd boys were saved from Agasura. Then what happened? They were all walking around, and then Krishna said, oh, here is a beautiful spot. Let us all sit here and take our lunch. And this spot looks beautiful, and it's on the banks of Yamuna, and everything is a beautiful scenery around, and the peacocks are there, the birds are making a beautiful sound. So let's all take our lunch. We are all very hungry, so let our calves be roaming around here. till we finish our lunch. So then all of them sat down, and how they sat down, Krishna was in the center, and all the cowherd boys sat around Krishna, seeing as if, they're all able to look at the face of Krishna. So they were enjoying and making jokes and enjoying the, the prasadam, what they have brought. And they were keep looking at Krishna's beautiful face and relishing their prasadam. So everyone opened their tiffin box and then they were eating. And Krishna was having, it's mentioned in that Krishna book that Krishna was having, rice, yogurt, butter, and a portion of fruit salad. He was holding, and then he was, making jokes with all his friends, and they were all having a blissful time, enjoying the prasadam pastime with Krishna. So when they were all enjoying and, the prasadam, so that time what happened, suddenly these calves, which were actually, grazing nearby, what happened was the calves started eating the grass, and they were moving inside, and they got allured by the grass, and they went inside the forest. When the cowherd boys turned around, they could not see the calves. So they became big concerned about the safety of the calves. So they were, they were telling Krishna, and Krishna could see that the calves were not there. So then, they said that, Krishna, okay. Krishna said, Krishna could see the anxiety of the friends. So he said that, don't worry, you keep enjoying, the lunch. I will personally go and check out for the calves. So Krishna went inside and he was looking around. He could not see anywhere the calves. He went inside deep, and also around he went up on the hills and, everywhere, but he could not find the calves. And when he came back, he could not see the cowherd boys also. Then Krishna could understand, oh, this is Brahmaji. So Brahmaji has actually stolen all the calves and the cowherd friends. Okay, how can I return back to Vrindavan? Because all the mothers will be very worried that they are not able to see their sons. So Krishna, what did he do? He expanded as his cowherd friends, as all the calves and all the cowherd boys. Just imagine, it's not that each cowherd boy was looking alike. All of them were looking alike. Each one were looking different. Someone's body structure was different. Someone was thin, someone was big. And, their color were different. Their mood were different. Their clothing was different. Their jewelries were different. Everything was different. But Krishna expanded accordingly. So that was so wonderful, that Krishna expanded accordingly, not only as cowherd boys, but also as the different calves. And like that, he entered the village, entered Vrindavan. So normally when they enter the Vrindavan, all the boys, they would play the flute and everything. And then hearing the flute sound, Krishna, all the mothers would come out and they will go and embrace the children. So when this time, when they were embracing all the children, they felt more joy, more bliss, and they felt more, loving, to their children. Generally, they had so much love for Krishna than their own children. But this time, they felt so much love for their own children because they are not their own children. They were all Krishna. So that's why that love got increased so many fold times. And the calves, they were running towards the mother, and the mothers were running with their bag full of milk, and they were so happy feeding the calves. So much of loving exchange was happening. And when Balaramji was seeing this, he was like, what's happening, so much of loving exchange is going on between the calves and the cows and the parents and the boys. That is something different. Maybe, it's like, I think, looks like Krishna has done something special. Maybe they're all expansions of Krishna. Even I couldn't find out till now, and Krishna did not tell me anything. Okay, let me go and ask Krishna. So he was going and asking Krishna that, what is all about. And then Krishna, narrated everything what happened, and then he said that for almost 1 year, Krishna was actually doing this as he has expanded as a cowherd boys, giving the opportunity for all the elderly gopis to feed milk. Because when the children are back, the gopis would go and dress them nicely, wash them, dress them nicely, put different jewelries on them, feed them. So Krishna gave opportunity for all the elderly gopis in Vrindavan for 1 long year, to feed, to look after, him like their own sons. Because all the gopis, they had the desire, wish we had Krishna as our son. So Krishna fulfilled the desire of all the gopis. And in that way, they all were very blissful, serving Krishna. And then what happened when Balaramji was asking, and then now Brahmaji coming back, he wanted to see what has happened now, because I have stolen all the calves, I have stolen all the cowherd boys. Now, what's the situation? Let me see. And he was bewildered, because a similar set of all the cowherd boys or the calves, everyone are there. And he was thinking, what happened? All of them are sleeping. I have put them to some, put them in the sleep by my illusory energy, mystic powers. I have put them to sleep. And now I see another batch, similar batch of calves and cowherd boys. Who has done that? Oh, then he realized, oh my God. And then he could see, what he saw when he was getting bewildered that time. Krishna, he showed that, all these cowherd boys, they were becoming, he was seeing all these cowherd boys were actually becoming four-handed form, taking a four-handed form. And they were looking, with this, what do you call, Changa Chakra Kada Padma, this celestial, weapons in their hands. And, when he saw that, he was completely bewildered. So Krishna in the middle, and he's surrounded by all this cowherd boys, and they are all now, in the form of a four-handed Vishnu form, the surrounding and offering prayers. And Brahmaji was just bewildered. Oh my God, what's happening? And then when he was bewildered, when he got bewildered, he could see that they were all offering, not only the cowherd boys, he could see everyone, all the devatas and all the jivas, living entities, everyone, are offering, prayers, to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So then Brahmaji was like kind of getting more and more bewildered, and he was watching everything. And then he could understand, oh my God, what a mistake. And Krishna could see that he's getting more and more bewildered. So he withdraw all those things so that, Brahmaji is not more perplexed. And then immediately Brahmaji could understand, and then he bowed down with his helmets in the head, with all the four, heads, Brahmaji's 4 heads, that the crown, he was bowing down to Krishna. And then he was touching the lotus feet of Krishna and offering prayers. And then he was glorifying Krishna. Beautiful prayers of Lord Brahma's offering prayers are also there. So Brahmaji started, glorifying. Oh, I thought it's a small boy, and it is, it's the Supreme Lord himself. Just imagine if Brahmaji could get bewildered. What to speak about ordinary living being. So this is what happened to Brahma. See, when Lord, and not only that, he saw many Brahmas also, because the Brahma from this universe has 4 heads, but there are Brahmas from various universes, and they have 1,000-headed Brahmas, 100-head Brahmas, different head Brahmas are also there. And those Brahmas are also offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord Krishna. And this Brahma got bewildered. Oh my God, what am I seeing? So then he offers his prayers. He says that if someone says that he knows everything about Krishna's opulence, let him think that way. But as far as I am concerned, with my body and mind, I consider it in this way. My Lord, your opulence is like an unlimited ocean of nectar, and it is verbally and mentally impossible for me to realize even a drop of that ocean. There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. Oh my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of my mind, body, and words. Who is telling? Brahmaji is telling. Brahma bole chaturmukhe Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Mahadeva Panchamukhe Rama Rama Hare Hare. Brahma bole chaturmukhe. Brahma, Lord Brahma with his forehead from this universe, he is calling out Krishna Krishna. And Mahadeva with the Panchamukha, Rama Rama, it's calling out. So here the Brahmaji could understand, oh, what am I seeing? Who am I trying to, who am I trying to, cheat? That I have stolen all the calves and cows. What a great mistake I have done. He realized that. So this is the, then when Brahmaji got, he could come, he came back to his senses. He again saw the Vrindavan Dham, the beautiful Vrindavan, and the transcendental Vrindavan Dham. And he could again see Krishna is sitting in the middle, and all the cowherd boys are sitting around, and they're all exchanging jokes and enjoying their lunch. So this is what Brahmaji could see, and so let the glories of Lord Krishna be. Who could be aware of all of them? Is aboard Vrindavan has many wonderful opulence. And it is mentioned that no one can estimate the opulence of Krishna, that is unlimited. However, just as one sees the moon through the branch of a tree, I wish to give a little indication. Vrindavan is extended only 16 kroshas, 32 miles. All the Vaikuntha planets and innumerable universes are located in one corner of the tract. As we were talking about, just in the spiritual sky, in one corner only, all is unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets are present. And the middle, the lotus hole, is a Krishna's topmost, the Vrindavan, the Goloka Vrindavan Dham is there. So Krishna's opulence, his abode, his name, his fame, his pastimes, everything is unlimited. And he's saying that only, just like for the small child, how do we show the moon? Through a branch of the tree, the little gap, you see a small, tiny moon. That's what we show, for a child. So like that, we can only describe in that way, because we can't properly glorify and properly, explain and understand the unlimited opulence of Vrindavan Dham. So Mahaprabhu, while describing the transcendental opulence of Krishna, the ocean of opulence manifested in the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mind and senses were immersed in that ocean. So Mahaprabhu is actually, he is only talking about all these opulences, to Sanatana Goswami. And when he was describing the opulences of Sri Krishna, he was completely absorbed in that mood. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally recited the following verse from the Bhagavatam, and to relish the meaning, he began to explain it himself. What is that? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the master of the three worlds and the three principal demigods. No one is equal or greater than him. By spiritual potency known as Swarajya Lakshmi, all his desires are fulfilled. While offering their dues and present in worship, the predominating deities of all the planets touch the lotus feet of the Lord with their helmets. Thus they offer prayers to the Lord. So Mahaprabhu is quoting this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam to explain Krishna's transcendental position. In Chaitanya Charitamrita also it's mentioned, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabhabritya. There is only one Ishvara, the Supreme Controller. All of them are his eternal servants. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ara Sabhabritya. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So we know that this is from Brahma Samhita. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is the greatest of all. No one is equal to him, nor is anyone greater than him. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the Supreme Controller. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. So we see, so this was quoted, to show the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. And we know that various scriptures also glorify Krishna's eternal position. So that's what is for today. We will go for the quiz, and let's see. Okay, so now, so this is so just a short portion we covered today, and we will be covering the rest gradually. So it's very, very nice. Mahaprabhu, of course, he is the Supreme Lord Krishna himself, but he has come in the mood of Srimati Radharani and taken the role of a devotee, and he's now explaining, in fact, in a sense, his own glories, to Sanatana Goswami. So, so now I will request Binal to do the quiz.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna. So let's start the quiz for today. And today's quiz is going to be a bit different. So it's more of a comprehensive question rather than a multiple choice question. So let's have a look at the questions today. What did you can press next? Yeah. Yeah, so for question one, the shape of a spiritual sky is compared to a dash flower. So we have first option is rose, sun, lotus, and lily. So
Lotus.
yeah, please type your answers in the chat box and we'll have a look. So we have yeah, and the right answer is lotus. So we have Anuradha Jutapriya Mataji, Aparna Mataji, and Jyoti Puttaswamy Mataji. All right, so let's start with the second question now. So question two, if you and your elder brothers, the great saint and sages, can't understand the lotus of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of various energy, who else can understand them? So who says this to whom? Question one. Option one, we have four Kumaras to Lord Brahma to Narada Muni to Lord Brahma to four Kumaras. And let's see. The right answer is, let's have a few more devotees to answer first, and we'll have a look at the answers. So the correct answer is Lord Brahma to Narada Muni. And we have Satyadevi Mataji, Ram Prasad Prabhu, I believe, and Sangita S, Charugupta Mataji, Kusuma Mataji, Karthik Prabhu, Aparna Mataji, and HB. And the last we have Lalita Palani Mataji. So that's the right answer. So question 3 begins from here now. What lessons can we learn from Brahma Vimohana Leela? There's no options for this question, so you can just type your answers in the chat box. So any answers, yeah. So any more devotees would like to answer? So we have Charugupta Mataji just wrote that nobody can understand Krishna. Yeah. Apanam Mataji has said that no one can understand Krishna in full. That's right. So Ram Prasad Prabhu, it is not possible to understand Krishna. I think so. The main idea is that no one can understand Krishna here. That's what most of us has written down here. And Prem Shakti Mataji has written Krishna's opulence and how Brahma got bewildered. Yeah. Yeah. So the main idea is that it's impossible for us to understand Krishna and no one can understand Krishna. So most of you are the right answers here. So we'll see who has answered the first here later. So let's move on to question 4 now. Question 4. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha planets have opulences like A. Brahma, B. Shiva, C. Indra, D. Narayan. So we have Prem Shakti Mataji has said Krishna, Anuradha Mataji has said D. Narayan. Yeah, that's the correct answer. And Karthik Prabhu as well has said D. Narayan. Jyoti Putuswami Mataji has said D. Narayan. Yeah, you can see Prem Shakti Mataji has wrote two answers. Satyadevi Mataji has said D. Shruti Mataji D. Yeah, so the correct answer is D. Narayan. Most of you has got it right here. So that's it for today's quiz. We only have 4 questions today. So we'll head it back to Vivek Prabhu for any announcements. But before that, I think we just have a short announcement, one announcement for this week, which is, can I press next? Yeah, before we move on to announcement, then we can just maybe hit to this point while we get the results for the quiz. So please explain in any key points which you like most from this session today on Lord Krishna's opulence and sweetness. So you can just type your answers in the chat box and she'll answer them.
Haribol devotees, please use the chat box. It's a short portion we covered, but something which is very striking we could learn from today, because Krishna says also in the Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti mamuda manusham tanumashita. When Krishna comes in the human form, fools deride me when I come in the human form. Because Brahmaji also saw Krishna as an ordinary child, and then he taught him not as a supreme lord. And we saw the entire pastime, how, finally he got the lesson, he understood. So this is one part of it, what we saw. A powerful lesson to understand. When Lord Brahma himself could not understand, how ordinary conditioned souls can understand. But that doesn't mean, is it that no one can understand the Lord? It's not like that. So Mahaprabhu will be explaining more on this. And the only way we can understand, Krishna also says, is that by devotional service, we can understand him. So what else? Anything else, you find it? Yeah, I can see many nice points coming up. It's always nice to reflect back on what we heard and what we read. So in that way, it stays in our heart. No one can match Krishna's mercy. That is true. That's what I always am in one of the takeaways. Krishna expanding to many and enact in parallel for 1 year, yes. Calling many-headed Brahmas. Gopis and Krishna's reciprocation, yes, beautiful, yeah. Gopis is how Krishna reciprocated to all the gopis. And then Krishna loves everyone whether they love him or not. Shilpi Mataji, very nice. Krishna's opulence is unthinkable. Charu Mataji, yes. Ram Prasad Prabhu very nicely said, yeah. Krishna's unlimited potency. Kartik Prabhu, yes. Anuradha Mataji, Krishna's opulence is unlimited. No one can understand Krishna. Unlimited compassion that the Lord shows even to those who try to kill him. Asuric mentality. Krishna himself is unable to understand himself, so he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Charu Mataji, Krishna fulfilled the desire of all his devotees equally. Yes. We can understand how Krishna is our well-wisher. Even though many demons came to kill him, he awarded the highest liberation to the demons. Example, Putana, Kusuma Mataji. Yes. Krishna is very merciful and reciprocative. Shamila Mataji. Krishna loves those even who are enemies to him. Sangita Mataji. Abhaya Charanar Vendare, Ram Prasad Prabhu. Lalita Palimati. Krishna loves everyone. If somebody like him or not. Yes. Ashana Mataji. Brahma Vimona Lila nicely explains how it is not possible to understand Krishna. Krishna giving liberation to Asura came to kill him. Gopis unconditional love and Krishna's reciprocation. Satya. Krishna will love us. Yes. Even we heard Krishna loves us. Beautiful. Then Isha Mataji, Krishna revealed himself. Yeah, that's a beautiful point. Krishna reveals himself. When we love Krishna, Krishna reveals. Even the most difficult to understand, Krishna may be most difficult to understand, but when he reveals himself, then we can understand him. That's a beautiful point, Kripa Sindhu Prabhu. No one can understand Krishna by his mercy, only we can understand Lord, and Lord is so kind. He can forgive anyone and shows his mercy. Yes, that's a beautiful point, forgiving. Krishna's opulence and how he smashes Brahma's ego, yes. How Krishna reciprocates with Vrajavasis by expand. Beautiful, Prema Shakti Mataji. Thank you all, so beautiful, so wonderful. Yes, Krishna is very, very sweet, very merciful, wonderful. That's why we have to keep on hearing about his pastimes, and we have to read and hear and more and more and more. Then we will be able to, when we make that endeavor to know him, that is also important, because as we know, two in short, we have to make the endeavor and Krishna's mercy. So when we make an effort to understand Krishna genuinely, sincerely, lovingly, then Krishna also reciprocates by showering his mercy. Then Krishna reveals, and then we will be able to understand him. So the endeavor has to come from our side. Krishna wants to know whether we want to love him, we want to make an effort, we want to know about him. Then he will reveal more and more. Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayantite. I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. Krishna says that. It's very important we make that endeavor to know Krishna. Endeavor means here, we try to read books. Prabhupada has written 80 volumes of books. Hardly sleeping 2 hours, 3 hours. He has written so many volumes of books for people like us. to really appreciate and understand Krishna. Because if we really do not know Krishna, how can we get attracted to him? Because we won't feel attracted unless we know someone is attractive. That means we need to know that, we need to have knowledge about that person. Then we will develop attraction. Then the attraction transforms to affection. The affection, upgrades to attachment. That's the way we can develop attachment to Krishna. So it all starts, by developing attraction. And the attraction comes by knowing his wonderful, sweet qualities. So for that, we need to hear, we need to read. So when we hear the lectures, when we read, about the pastimes of Krishna from Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, then naturally, by the mercy of Krishna, we will be able to appreciate him, and we will be, we will get that attraction for him. So that's very important. So thank you very much for your wonderful thoughts which you have shared from this particular subject, discussed today. Okay. Vivek Prabhu, are you there? Just before that.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm not for now. I think you're on
Yes,
mute.
Prabhu.
Mataji.
Sorry. You have
Yeah.
any updates?
Yeah, this is mainly regarding the Chaitanya Charan Prabhu classes. So we have scheduled that wonderful meeting and seminar with His Great Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So I would request everyone to go through the YouTube recording of that, because it was very, very important and helpful session for all of us. Even you are in committee, not in committee, BB leader, whatever level you are, even you are the beginner. So a lot of knowledge and learnings were there. So I have already shared in leaders group, and please pass it to your respective Bhakti Ruksha group so that everyone can get benefited. And also we will have our Sunday feast, so we'll request all the volunteers to come together for a dham and help here. Even sometimes we need a lot of volunteers, then many dhams can come together and help. So Dayal Chaitanya Prabhu was very much happy with the Gaur Purnima volunteers, whoever had done. He thanks to all of us, whoever could get time on both the days. So this is one thing. And also for Ram Navami, I am getting some list of volunteers, so we'll publish soon, as soon as I get from temple. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Also would like to inform everyone that coming 15th Wednesday is Saturday. Saturday is Ekadasi. Before that, Saturday is Ekadasi for Papa Mochini Ekadasi. Also disappearance of Shri Govinda Ghosh. That is, he's an associate of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And before that, the coming Wednesday, which is what date? 15th March is the appearance of Shivas Thakur. Shivas Thakur is one of the Panchatattva. We say Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. So Shivas Thakur is none other than Narada Muni. Narada Muni himself has come down as Shivas Thakur to assist Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Chaitanya Leela. And he as we know, as Narada Muni also, he was always carrying the name of the Lord in his tongue. And we could see here in Shiva's Angan, where Mahaprabhu, displayed many wonderful pastimes, especially the Prema Sankirtan, the confidential Sankirtana happened in Shiva's Thakur's house. Very, very special place. So Shiva's Thakur is such a personality, full of love. And in fact, Mahaprabhu said, you have purchased me with your love. A lot of wonderful pastimes are there. Of course, we don't have time at this moment, but even when Shivas Thakur's son left the world, when the Kirtan was going on, he did not bothered about it, but rather he was very much concerned that Mahaprabhu's Kirtan should not get affected. And Mahaprabhu was stunned. And then, he said that, and he brought the child back, and the child, spoke such transcendental words. And Mahaprabhu said that me and Nityananda are your sons now. So in that way, Srivas Thakur conquered the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by his unalloyed love. Such a personality. We see so many pastimes. His maid servant, Duki, became Suki because of just, being in the association of Srivas Thakur. So in Srivas Thakur's house, Mahaprabhu said, everyone, whoever is connected to you, all of them I will give Krishna Prema. So just imagine, if we also catch hold of Srivas Thakur, beg for his mercy, then we also can receive Mahaprabhu's blessings. So Wednesday, please don't forget, let's all pray very nicely that day. And Shiva Sangan chanting only happens. So we should be chanting. If those who are not chanting can begin chanting, and those who are already chanting can chant more and more on the day to get the mercy of Shiva Thakur and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So then, of course, Ekadasi on the Saturday. So that's for this week. So we will see you all next week. Before that, Jagannath Darshan, we will quickly show you. Before that, the scores. Okay. Thank you for participating, and also the winners for today is Anuradha Achyuta Priya Mataji. Always she's in the top list of, responding to the answers very quickly. And we have in the second place Jyoti Mataji. And third place, Aparupa Krishna Priya Mataji and Ram Prasad Prabhu. Okay, we say 3 big Haribols to all the devotees who are on the toppers list today, and also all those who participated. Haribol, Haribol. You can see the beautiful darshan of Lord Jagannath now before we conclude the session today. So Jagannath is wearing the Gaur Purnima outfit, and the Gaur Purnima outfits were sponsored by Manju Mataji, Kan Prabhu and Manju Mataji family.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Can I ask a question, Mataji?
Yes, please.
This is Haripriya Mataji.
Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I just want to know, like, is it allowed to eat flax seeds on Ekadashi, Mataji? Or
Flax seeds?
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Oh, interesting question. So far, we have never taken. So I'm not very sure about it. Probably need to check, Mataji. Certain seeds are not taken, during Ekadashi. Like we don't take mustard seeds. So some things we avoid, but flax seeds, I'm not very sure about it. Maybe you remind me, Mataji, I can double check and let you know.
Which are allowed, Mataji, on Ekadashi?
Ekadashi generally fruits, roots, and non-grains, basically, like, quinoa, we can have samo, then all kinds of fruits.
About seeds, Mataji.
Seeds, I do not know. Generally, we only take, when it comes to spices, we only take a jeera, pepper. We don't even take any of the powders, like what do you call, chili powder, cumin powder, because freshly ground is okay. The shop one is not good because sometimes they may mix that with, we don't know, maybe some other grains are mixed, in the sense some other flour are mixed. We are not sure about the purity. So that's why that day, Ekadasi, especially the shop powders, whatever, like chili powder, cumin powder, then coriander powder, even though coriander powder, cumin powder are allowed that day, but we don't use the shop ones.
We can make it home, na
We can
Mataji?
make it home. Homemade can be used. Cumin powder, coriander powder, all this. So in that way, even pepper powder also, we can make our own home one rather than using the shop one, because sometimes that could be mix of anything. So spices wise, these are allowed. That's what I
Cashew nuts,
cashew.
Mataji.
Yeah. Nuts are allowed. Cashew, almonds, they are all allowed.
And sunflower seeds or
Sunflower. I mean, better to avoid seeds, Mataji.
okay.
Please avoid the seeds. Sunflower oil is okay. Like even that day, we don't take sesame seeds or sesame oil. Because
Okay,
sesame
Mataji.
oil is from sesame seeds, no?
Seeds,
So we
yeah.
avoid, so we avoid sesame oil. Better to use pure ghee or pure butter or, like sunflower oil. Olive oil is okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Hare
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So you all could see Jagannath Darshan. Someone can spotlight Jagannath.
We couldn't see anything, Mother.
Yeah. Can someone spotlight? I'll stop
Can't see,
share.
ma'am. We can't
Prabhu,
see.
it's there. Please, Yamuneshwari, another phone, it is there. Please,
Oh yeah, like we can see.
yeah. Can you spotlight?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Maharani. First time Jagannath with a crown. Normally he wears a turban. So this is a crown for the first time. So Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra ki jai, Shishi Gauri Tai ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. We thank all the devotees and we look forward to see you next week. Hari Bol. Srila
Hare
Prabhupada ki
Krishna,
jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so much,
Hari
Mataji,
Bol.
for the lovely
Yamuneshwari
darshan.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Mataji. Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
you. Thank
Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji left. Maybe you can
Okay.
send a message, Mataji.
No, Prabhu. Actually, it is not the visible. So, can we have the photo? I just want to ask
The photo of what, Mataji?
deities.
Okay.
Deities.
Are you in the or which part of Mataji? Or
Dwarka Dham, Prabhu.
okay, I'll share with Vivek Prabhu, or like I can post in a group, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.